This was the first competitive match between the two local rivals in 7 years. The Peebles pack outmuscled their opponents right from the off, disrupting Biggar's own scrums and stamping their authority on their own put-ins. With the wind and driving rain behind them in the first half, Peebles took the game to Biggar early on, and while they perhaps didn't play the conditions as well as they could have done, they went in at the break 10-3 up, with a penalty from leading Borders point scorer Dan Botwood, who also converted this well-crafted try from his pack, number 8 David Payton, the man to touchdown for the Gatesmen. Early in the second half, Peebles extended their lead after a second penalty by Biggar's Chris McKeand, another converted try made by the forwards, this time Adam Clark going over. A converted Doug Notman try and further Botman penalty gave Peebles a 7-point cushion before Payton controlled the ball behind his teammates to get another try. With Botwood wrapping up the scoring with this well-taken conversion, Peebles deservedly won this, 25-13.
Well, delighted to get a win. We won ugly today. The conditions didn't allow for much flowing rugby, and our forwards controlled the game. So another typical border game, and Biggar came down obviously looking to get points here, but we've controlled the game in the second half especially, and delighted to win.
Traditionally, Biggar are a good pack. We've always seen them the last couple of seasons, but it was amazing in the very opening part of the match. A couple of wheels and turned round their scrum, which was an amazing achievement. And as you say, they probably won the game for you today. Yes,
the scrums definitely. We've got one or two line-out problems today, but certainly the scrums from the first scrum to the last. And if I could just say something about the scrum, they got a prop injured in the first couple of minutes, and a lot of teams unfortunately would have manufactured uncontested scrums with that as an excuse, and I spoke to their coach afterwards and commended him that isn't the spirit of the game, because they could easily have gone to uncontested scrums at a whim, to be honest, at any point in that game, but they stuck at it, and ultimately we controlled it there.
Good to see as well, isn't it, that sort of thing?
I think it's a tremendous fill-up for him. I was delighted that they didn't do that when they could have, and unfortunately some teams would have done that.
Well, the first half, you had the wind, very strong wind behind you, and the driving rain. 10-3 at the break. Do you feel you used the conditions to the best of your advantage?
I don't think we played as much rugby in their half, in the first half, with the wind behind us as we did. That's not to say that we want to be over-kicking though, because sometimes teams can over-kick with the wind behind them, and we're a team that like to use the ball in the hand, so it's difficult to criticise them. I just felt sometimes we had opportunities to kick into the corners, but we moved it under pressure. So we have to learn from that, because the second half we kept the ball in hand as much as we could, obviously, and we were more effective.
And you did close them down as well right at the end, because they came at you all guns blazing, and you held firm.
Yes, we did. I mean, I think that's just a bit of pride thing, you know, apart from stopping them getting a bonus point. That wouldn't have been in the players' mind. It would just be a pride in the line, and that's something that we try to instill into everybody, that, you know, I think we're a strong defensive side, and we were disappointed with the try they got. It was a soft try from our point of view, so we made sure they didn't get another one, and defended very well.
I think you're licking your lips, because in 7 days' time you're at Netherdale again. You always remember, of course, what happened in the snow last year. It was a Peebles win.
It was a Peebles win. They beat us up here beforehand, but down there, and again, I think the thing to look forward to is two border sides playing open rugby on a tremendous facility, which Netherdale is. So there'll be the intensity, there'll be the fire, there'll be the passion, but hopefully there'll be a bit of lovely rugby to watch, because both teams certainly do that.
Now tell us about the conditions out there. I mean, we can see you at the moment, you're caked with mud. There is a Dan Botwood underneath there apparently, and your forwards definitely stepped up to the plate. Must be great from the backs to play behind some guys like that who put in the effort today.
Yeah, there's nothing better than seeing your forwards dominate another pack, and I think special mention has to go out to Davey Payton. He's been out injured for a while, and I think it's the second or third game back, and he really led from the front, and he was one in particular that really wanted to win today, and so no, it's awesome to see the forwards going forward and scoring tries too. It's good for them.
There were some good moves in the backs, of course, as well, but of course very tricky to handle the ball under those conditions.
Yeah, it's not the same when the ball's covered in mud and water. The passing's not as slick, and they don't seem to stick. So if the boys up front, if they can get going forward, and then if you're lucky to get one down the backs, but we managed to score three in the tights, so I'm very happy.
How did you feel about the overall performance of Peebles for this game? Because a lot of people thought that in the first half you maybe didn't make as much use of the conditions as you could have.
No, at the moment we're probably not playing the smartest rugby. I think a lot of the decisions that we make are probably not the right ones. We really enjoy playing rugby, as all border teams seem to, and so when it comes to these sort of conditions, I think sometimes we just have to take a step back and think, let's play a bit of field position. But we've got a new guy, a young boy, Neil, at standoff, and he's not learning the position, but he's learning his role within the team, and it'll take a few weeks, but he's starting to step up and he's playing some good rugby.
This is Neil Warnock, of course, played fly half, which was your position early in the season. You're happy in the centre?
Well, centres, yeah, where I prefer playing, I get a bit more space to run, and yeah, hopefully I'm happy to play either spot, but if Neil can step up and keep playing the way he is, then I don't see why not. We can't continue in that way.
Must ask you about your kicking performance as well. You scored one try, obviously, this year, but quite a lot of penalties, conversions, drop goal in there as well. 59 points for the season already. You're on fire.
Yeah, it seems to all be working out for me, which is quite good. I suppose I'm getting quite a few opportunities, so the more practice you get, the more you should be kicking. And yeah, the rhythm seemed there, and they're coming off the boot well, so I couldn't be happier.
And Gala next week?
Can't wait. There's one game that sticks in my mind, probably because it was the first time I played in snow, but no, it's definitely one. Both teams love to play their sort of borders brand of rugby and throw it around and play an attractive brand of rugby, so no, really looking forward to it.
Well, there'll be no snow next week, that I can guarantee, but whether the rain keeps off is another matter. But Dan Botwood, once again, well done.
Thank you, Stuart.
Scrum Magazine is the driving force behind grassroots rugby. With regular editions throughout the year, you can stay in touch with club and schools rugby. For full details, go to scrummagazine.com.